Yeah, good morning, Seema. Well, look, what we know is ARM's pricing those shares at $51 per share at the top of the range, giving it a valuation of $54.5 billion. ARM raising nearly $5 billion here, and it will trade on the NASDAQ under the ticker of ARM. Listing details here, ARM listing around 95.5 million ADSs with the option of underwriters to buy an additional 7 million shares. Importantly, SoftBank's going to retain 90% of the shares of this company, remaining its biggest shareholder. It comes at an interesting time for both of these companies. For SoftBank, it's coming off the back of massive losses at its key vision fund at a time when it's trying to shore up its balance sheet and show investors that it's going to go back on what it calls the offensive and begin investing in new areas like AI. For ARM, it's facing a slowdown in its core market of smartphones. Revenue fell in the last fiscal year by 1% in the smartphone market, showing no signs of the recovery. Here in the UK, it's seen as a bit of a blow, Seema, because this company, of course, a British company, is listing in the US and not on the London Stock Exchange. The London Stock Exchange has said a few months ago it's still holding out hope that it could see a dual listing for ARM here in the UK. But clearly, for this IPO, investors are going to need to grapple with a number of key risks for the company. One of the biggest ones is China, where it gets around 24% of revenues wholly through a subsidy called ARM China, which it has no control in. That's one of the risks the company has warned on. It's also warned on geopolitical risk as well as rising competition to its key chip architecture. But clearly, demand very high here. Reports that this IPO is multiple times oversubscribed, and ARM pricing here at the top of the range. Question is, of course, did SoftBank leave money on the table? But all eyes on ARM when it comes to market later today, Seema.
On that note, how would you say ARM Holdings' valuation has evolved over the last 2 to 3 years?
Well, look, SoftBank bought this in 2016 for $32 billion. It's coming onto the market for just over $54 billion. So that's a pretty decent return for SoftBank. There were thoughts that perhaps this could be priced at north of $60 billion, but it's coming into the market at a time, of course, of caution amongst investment towards tech companies, but also high interest in the area of AI, as seen by NVIDIA's massive blistering rally this year. The difference is this is not an NVIDIA. This is a very different prospect, which still makes a lot of its money from the architecture that underlines 99% of the world's smartphone chips. And so this is an area that's stagnating. This is an area where growth is slowing and growth prospects aren't looking so great. And the question is, how does ARM find new growth? Is it in architecture for chips that go into data center? That's an area that they're looking at quite a lot. Or is it in the automotive space? Another area they've put a lot of promise on as well. And I think this valuation is an indication that of a bit of caution. It's not hit the high end that perhaps SoftBank had hoped for, but certainly it's somewhere in the middle where it's recognizing all of those different challenges, but the potential opportunity as well in some of those new areas, Seema.
Yeah, we'll see how it trades on the first day. Arjun, thank you.